In 2015, the Fuller really started doing some very important work around trauma-informed care. Um, I had been doing research around trauma-informed care. I had understood that some of the fundamental principles for trauma-informed care included safety, choice, and empowerment. And that was very important to me because those are some of the principles that I ascribed to. They were part of my philosophy of care. Unfortunately for me, the leadership team that I worked with, they appeared to have had those same philosophy around care. So we decided that we were going to do something very innovative around trauma-informed care, specifically around safety, choice, and empowerment. So one of the things we did, we had an old room downstairs on the ground floor where when patients were admitted, the ambulance brought them, or the sheriff, sorry, brought them, and they were in their shackles, and it was an old dingy room, and they sat there and they waited, and then they were brought up to the units in shackles, and when they came to the unit, they took off the shackles and they let them off the unit. So one of the things we changed was we said we wanted the first in the first contact with us to be a much more pleasant one. So we redecorated that space that we had, and it did not cost a lot. We just painted the area. One of our staff, it was an artist. She painted this lovely picture. We put that up on the wall. We got two beautiful chairs and a plant, and we put it in there. So when the patients came in with the sheriff, they would sit in that waiting room and wait. The other thing we did was to ask the supervisor to go down. Once they got the call that the patient was here, that they would go down to that space and greet the patients. So they would greet them with something like, "Welcome to the Fuller. We have been expecting you. We have a meal for you. Once you get onto the unit, we're going to allow you to take a shower. We have a change of clothes for you. You get something to eat. And then after you've done that, then we will have to spend some time with you, asking you some questions so we can get to know you better, and so we know how we can better care for you." So we started doing that. We found that to be very, very helpful in helping to calm patients and helping them to just feel at home. A lot of the patients we have come from the court. They've probably been sitting in the court all day. They may not have eaten and they've been tired. And that was a good way of making them feel safe and making them feel welcome. What are some of the outcomes of that? We noticed once we started doing that we had less patients attacking the staff within the first 20 days when they got here. We noticed that it also had an impact on the number of restraints that we had, as well as the number of staff who were injured by patients. As a result, a lot of the patients, when they leave or right before they leave, they say how important this first contact with us was. They would write letters, and in one letter, a patient stated that she felt like a princess after she took a bath, had a meal, and just had fresh clothes, how good that made her feel. So that validated what we were doing as in a way of supporting safety as part of trauma-informed care. Another thing that we did around safety was looking at who we hired. In the past, we hired people, they applied. We looked for a lot of people who had physical strength and, to make sure, they could show strength on the unit. And we had to move away from that. We started looking more at people who were not physically strong, although that would be a plus as well. But we started looking for people who had much more of an emotional intelligence quotient, a higher emotional intelligence. By that I mean people who were able to communicate with people more effectively, who were able to deal with difficult situations more effectively, and people who were more compassionate and caring and who wanted to really engage the patients in their work. So how did we go about doing that? We had to change our interview questions. We've been able to hire some staff who are very compassionate, who are very skilled in talking to patients, and when things are beginning to get challenging for patients, they can engage with them and they can help prevent a very difficult situation that probably would end up in a restraint or some other aggressive behavior. And that has been very rewarding for us. When we look at our data, we notice that because of this interaction and this engagement, we have fewer people who are being assaulted by patients. It has had an impact on our restraint and seclusion episodes, and it has been very rewarding. So those are two of the things I can speak to around safety, some of the creative things I think we've done here at the Fuller in regards to safety as a principle of trauma-informed care. The other piece is around empowerment. In this environment, there tends to be, staff, it appears that staff has the power and the individuals that we serve just have to obey and move and go along with what staff says. This was very, very profound, and when we started making some changes around, let us let loose of some of the rules and some of the issues that caused power struggles between patients and staff. Most significant was patients wanting something. They would like a drink, some juice, some crackers, some yogurt, a snack. They wanted something. And of course, in the past, what it would be like, the patient would say, I would like a drink, and the staff says, okay, when I have a chance, I'll get it for you, I'll give it to you. And the patient is waiting, and next thing you know, they're beginning to get a little upset and agitated, and then you get into the power struggle, and sometimes, I'm ashamed to say, on occasions, it would lead to a restraint just because the patient could not get a snack at the time they wanted it. So one of the things we did, we said, you know what, why does a patient have to ask for a snack? Let's make it available to them. So we got small refrigerators, we filled it up with juice and crackers and cheese, and we had a basket full of fruits we put it on top of the fridge in the public area, so patients can just go in. If they feel like having a glass of orange juice, they can go and have it. If they want a banana, they want an apple, they can take it and they do not have to ask for it. We also have a carafe of coffee sitting there with sugar and cream and whatever they need to make some coffee. So if they want a drink and they would like some coffee, they would just go in and get a cup of coffee or get whatever it is they wanted. And again, that has worked very, very well for us. Patients feel empowered. They feel like whatever I want, if I want something, I can go out there and I can get it. I do not have to ask for it. And what that has done, and the outcome of that, there's been a decrease, almost an absence of struggle around patients asking for things and asking for a drink. And the same happens with the laundry. There's always a struggle. I want to do my laundry, and the staff says, no, not now, later on, when I get a chance. And one of the things we did, we said, let the patients go to the laundry. It could be 12 o'clock in the night if they want to do their laundry because they are not able to fall asleep. Let them do their laundry. Open the door for them. Let them do their laundry. Let them sit up at nights and read if they want to. As opposed to in the past, it's 12 o'clock, you need to go to bed, and the patient says, I don't want to go to bed. And then they get into this struggle, and that has made a tremendous difference with patients and staff. And we have seen patients, our customer service survey say that, patients, they say they feel more respected, they feel that the staff are listening to them and they're getting the things that they want and do not have to struggle for it. And we are very proud about what we've done around, working with patients and making them feel safe and empowering them, and really having a culture and trying to create a culture in which we do not re-traumatize the people we work with, but that we are supporting them and we are making them feel safe and we are making them feel empowered while they are here and we are working with them.